In June 2022, Sony launched its new PlayStation Plus in North America. Split into 3 tiers, this model combines the previous version of PS Plus with PS Now. Depending on which level someone subscribes to, they will gain access to certain services and games. PS Plus Premium has over 700 games, covering more than 2 decades of PlayStation history. Such a huge collection can certainly be overwhelming, and the PS Plus app does not make it super easy to browse through the library. As such, it can be useful to know this tier's highlights before investing in a subscription. Each month, Sony adds a handful of new games. So what are the best games on PS Plus? Well, what's going on everyone? It's Jeffrey. Welcome to Game Rant. In this video, I'll be showcasing 10 of the best games to check out on PlayStation Plus. But do keep in mind that the games available can change at any time, so a game mentioned in this list might not always be there to play and enjoy. With that said, let's hop into the list. Number 10, Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil is one of the most famous horror franchises in all of gaming, and it is eternally linked to the PlayStation brand. Premium subscribers can play through a healthy selection of entries from Capcom's license, including classics such as Resident Evil Code Veronica X, polarizing sequels like Resident Evil 6, and HD remasters of masterpieces like Resident Evil 4. The extra tier does not have quite as robust of a catalog, although it still includes 2 notable projects in Resident Evil 7 and 2019's Resident Evil 2 Remake. In many ways, these 2 combine to create the perfect representation of the gaming juggernaut's past, present, and future. RE7 marked the dawn of a new era for the series, one that was long overdue following a string of not-so-great releases. Despite being a departure from the traditional formula, the 2017 sequel returned the franchise to its horror roots, delivering one of its scariest campaigns. As great as it was, RE7's switch to first-person perspective and a few other stylistic choices meant that it could not scratch the same itch as its ancestors. Consequently, longtime fans craving something more familiar were treated to a remake of Resident Evil 2, one that offers arguably the definitive way to experience this chapter in the saga. Featuring gorgeous visuals, over-the-shoulder gameplay, and an intense Mr. X, the 2019 remake is a horror tour de force that uses its classic predecessor as a launchpad to achieve heights afforded by modern technology. Number 9, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is among the most high-profile PS5 games available on PS Plus Extra. As a console exclusive, this reveal seemed destined to transpire sooner or later, although almost 2 years from the game's debut had to pass for this moment to simply arrive. Rift Apart might very well still be the most beautiful PS5 title on the market, a testament to Insomniac's mastery of technology and talent for creating vibrant and stunning worlds that wouldn't look out of place in something like a Pixar movie. Rift Apart backs up its good looks with fantastic gameplay and an enjoyable story that allows its lovable characters to shine through. Although Ratchet and his robotic companion take center stage, they are also accompanied by a new playable Lombax in the form of Rivet, who also comes with her own partner. In combat, the characters largely control the same, however the game does a great job of establishing Rivet's own identity through her personality. Number 8, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. Insomniac Games' repertoire really speaks for itself, and the developer's current focus is, of course, on Marvel's Wallcrawler. Although it feels more like an expansion than a proper follow-up, the spin-off retains all of its predecessor's strengths, including the best web-swinging mechanics in gaming. Well, not to include, of course, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, where that really took everything out of the park. Miles Morales establishes its eponymous protagonist as a viable alternative to Peter Parker, expanding on the character's backstory and personality for players who might not be familiar with Miles' comic version. Short as it might be compared to the main entry or its subsequent sequel, the game tells an engaging story that focuses on the hero's dual life, something he is only just starting to come to grips with since he is still new to this whole, Spider-Man thing. Number 7, Returnal. Housemarque is well represented by PS Plus Premium, with games such as Resogun and Alienation being included in the service. As great as those releases are, the studio's crowning achievement has to be Returnal, a sci-fi PS5 roguelite that delves into horror territory. The third-person shooter centers around Celine, a pilot who becomes stuck on a planet and within a time loop. As tends to be the case with this genre, death means going back to square one, although Returnal dives into its story into halves that serve as respawn checkpoints. One of the best PS5 games on PS Plus Premium and Extra, Returnal justifies a subscription all of its own. Number 6, Rayman Legends. It has been almost a decade since the last non-mobile Rayman game, and Ubisoft has not shown any indication that a new title is in the works. Rayman Legends was one of the best platformers of the 2010s, and it has not aged a day since its debut, which is incredible. Building on the impeccable foundations of 2011's Rayman Origins, Legend takes players on a fast-paced adventure that offers more than 100 levels, along with supporting co-op. Gameplay-wise, Rayman Legends barely sets a foot wrong, and the tight controls elevate the masterful level design. The game is also quite challenging, and the campaign does not wait too long to ramp up its difficulty. Number 5. The Kingdom Hearts franchise. PS Plus Extra users have a plethora and cornucopia of Kingdom Hearts games at their disposal. Basically, subscribers can actually play through most of the story, if you can even follow the story. It's tough, I've tried. Although a few small releases are of course missing. The service at this point has the following titles: Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix, which contains 4 full games and 2 cutscene compilations. It also has Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which is a mouthful to say, and that contains 1 full game, a prologue for Kingdom Hearts 3, and a cutscene compilation movie. There's also Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. If someone were to play through all of these projects, they would be looking at well over 100 hours of content, and that is only if they focused on the main stories and generally ignored the side content and post-game fights. Individually, Kingdom Hearts are, well, all at the premium, very good games, and many of them are action RPGs with stylish combat built on a plethora of rewarding systems, Birth by Sleep especially. Newcomers should start with 2002's Kingdom Hearts if they want any hope of following the lore, but again, it's not easy to do. Again, I've tried this. While not quite as flashy or complex as its sequels, the original game's combat is nevertheless still rock solid, and it is enhanced by a fairly difficult campaign. After that, players will probably want to just follow Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 Remix's order of games. The quality fluctuates from release to release, but each entry has something to offer, be it a novel battle system in the case of Chain of Memories, or fantastic visuals in the case of Kingdom Hearts 3. Number 4. God of War 2018. Now, there are a handful of PS Plus games that everyone with an account should definitely play, and 2018's God of War should definitely be at the top of that list. This quote-unquote reboot of the series sees Kratos living in a different part of the world, far from the Grecian roots players are used to seeing him in. Kratos' move to Midgard gave developers a chance to shine a spotlight on some different gods, tapping into the deep Scandinavian folklore surrounding the Norse gods and their mythology. With RPG elements and an incredible story, along with breathtaking visuals and some awesome combat mechanics, God of War is a must-play PS Plus game. Number 3. Dead Cells. The independent gaming scene is flooded with 2D Metroidvanias, some of which rank among the most memorable projects of the last decade. Even in that elite group, Dead Cells manages to stand out as something truly extra special. A roguelite that takes inspiration from Software's Souls game, Motion Twin's title delivers satisfying combat, unforgettable boss fights, and a gameplay loop that encourages a one more run mentality. Although death sends players back to the start of the game, they can purchase permanent items to make subsequent runs a little bit easier. Utilizing randomly generated levels that ensure each playthrough comes with a unique flavor, Dead Cells is the type of game that can keep a PS Plus subscriber busy for months on end. Oh, and in case you didn't know, there's also a whole bunch of Castlevania content thrown in there as well in the form of an expansion. So yeah, if you like Castlevania, you like Dead Cells, definitely check it out. Number 2, Until Dawn. Horror fans looking for something a little different will definitely want to check out Until Dawn. The release does a great job of blending together a gripping narrative with player choice, character interactions, and some seriously creepy environments. This thing will give you nightmares. The end result is a spectacularly spooky, playable movie of sorts that will have most players on the edge of their seats throughout. Much like Telltale's series of games, players will be forced to make tough choices during tense story moments. These decisions will have a direct influence on the story as characters develop ideas about one another. Making decisions quickly and correctly is key to helping everyone survive a terrifying vacation to a remote mountain resort. And number 1, Bloodborne. From Software has cornered the hard-hitting action RPG genre through its immaculate Dark Souls trilogy, and, of course, with Elden Ring. Out of all of the studio's many great games, Bloodborne might just be From Software's magnum opus. Boasting a gothic aesthetic and reflex-based combat that demands aggression from players, Bloodborne delivers a kinetic experience that delights on a whole different level of visuals, auditory, and even gameplay levels. Naturally, Bloodborne is not an easy game, far from it, but it is one of the most rewarding PS4 exclusives. Consequently, it is easily among the best games on PS Plus to check out. And there we have it, everyone, 10 excellent PlayStation Plus games to check out when you get the chance. Now, this list is of course just barely scratching the surface, since there are countless others that could easily be included here as well. But thank you so much for watching this video from Game Rant. Be sure to check out all sorts of other top-notch gaming content, including more lists, news, reviews, guides, originals, and so much more right here on Game Rant. Have a truly wonderful and happy day, everyone. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.